Okay, so before the break, we learned how to find remainder using the remainder theorem. Okay, so here we'll do a couple questions that has to do with the remainder theorem. So look at question 5b. All right, so Evan, can you read the question out?
5B.
Yep. Question 5. Find.
Bracket. No, find the value of k if the remainder is 1.
Yes. Okay. So we're looking for a value of k, right? So k is right here at the end, right? So it doesn't matter. Could be anywhere. In question A, k is before the x. Okay. So k could be anywhere. And instead of asking you to find the remainder, this time they tell you the remainder is 1. So when you see the word remainder and then you see they are dividing, right away you should think about the remainder theorem. Okay. Remainder theorem tells us that remainder equals to P of divisor equal to 0, right? The number you sub in should make the divisor equal to 0. So what's the number that we should sub in over here, right? For question B, what's the number that makes the divisor equal to 0? Daniel? If I want to find the remainder, what number do we put in?
-2.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so you go from here, you look at the divisor, x equal to -2. So if you sub in that number, it should give you the remainder. And the question tells you that the remainder has to be 1. Right? So that means P of -2, it should give you 1. Okay, 1 is the remainder. This one. Okay, so you can just sub it in. 1 is on the left side, right? P of -2 means you sub the -2 into the x. So -2 cubed plus 3 x squared minus 6x plus k. So you have everything filled out except k, right? So from here, you can solve for k. So I'll let you finish this up, okay? Once you got a k, please raise your hand. For this one, you should get an integer answer, okay? So follow the order of operation, simplify it, and isolate k. Anyone has question about any steps here? How we get a 1? Or how we get a -2? Okay, you can let me know. Right after you found k, please raise your hand. So this is like applying the remainder theorem backwards, right? Instead of finding remainder, it asks you to find missing coefficients in the dividend. All right, Waylon, what do you have for K?
I got 9.
The 9. Okay. Nick,
Also 9.
also 9. Anyone didn't get 9? Okay, if you have 9, please raise your hand. Okay, will be 1 equals to -8 minus 12 plus 12 plus K. Okay, so 12 and -12 cancels out. Move the -8 over, K equal 9. Okay, Angela, Jenny, and Marcus, do you need more time with that one? Okay, so question 6 is also looking for a missing coefficient, right? So we have a polynomial again, right? Right here, polynomial, and it has 2 missing coefficient. One is the P, right? P is missing, Q is also missing. Right, so it's not just missing a K, right? In the last question, we are missing just one unknown. So it tells you that it will have no remainder if you divide it by x minus 1. And it will have a remainder of -18 if you divide it by x plus 2. Okay, so they give you 2 clues. It's like kind of like 2 questions in one, right? Because you are missing 2 variables, right? Missing the P and the Q. So that's why you need 2 clues in order to solve it. Okay, so the setup is similar. One of them is no remainder. No remainder means remainder is 0, right? If you divide it by x minus 1. The other one is -18 when divided by x plus 2. So R equal to P of divisor equals 0. Okay, same idea, but instead we will have 2 equations. All right, so for the first equation, what's the remainder, Angela? For the first equation, remainder is,
I'm not sure.
well, look at the red underline. What does it say? What's the remainder?
0.
Yeah, no remainder is 0, right? So you will get no remainder when you divide it by what? Angela, still you?
X minus 1.
Okay, if you divide by x minus 1, what number do you put in to find remainder?
Oh, sorry. Could you repeat that?
If you divide by x minus 1, how do you find the remainder? What number do you plug in?
I'm not sure.
Okay, then we'll go back, okay? Like over here, question B, if you divide it by x plus 2, how do you find the remainder?
You put -2.
Yeah, you will plug in -2, then you get the remainder of 1, right? Because question says remainder is 1. Okay? So go back to this one. If you want to divide it by x minus 1, what number would you plug in?
1.
Yeah, and the remainder should be
0.
0. Okay, so you have 0 equal to P of 1. Okay, understand how we set that up? Now we're gonna do the same thing for the green part, okay? Green part tells you remainder is negative 18 if you divide it by x plus 2. Okay, so Eric, how do we set up the second equation? Eric?
Would it be negative 18 equals p of negative 2?
Very good. You got it. Okay. Remainder equals to p of whatever that makes the divisor become 0. Okay, it's similar to the question B we just finished, right? Except we have 2 of them. Okay, so p of 1 means you need to sub in the 1 into the x. So from there, right, we can sub in the 1. So you get p times 1q minus 1 squared plus q times 1 minus 2. Okay, for the second equation is negative 18 equals to p of negative 2x, 2q, right? So one equation you sub in 1 because it's divided by x minus 1. The other one is you sub in negative 2, okay? You sub in 1, sub in 1. The other one you sub in negative 2, negative 2. Okay, we simplify it. Okay, I'll let you do the simplifying. So simplify the exponents, combine all the like terms. You should get 2 equations that has just p and q, right? That will give you it's called a system of equation. Okay, please simplify it. Raise your hand, okay, when you finish simplifying. And if you know how to solve the system, you can continue to solve, okay? But I would like to check the system first before you start solving. But if you're sure, okay, then you can continue. So find the P and Q. If anyone doesn't know what's going on here, it's time to let me know. Okay, Philip, what's the first equation simplifying into?
P plus Q, 0 equals P plus Q minus 3.
Okay, so I'm gonna move the -3 to the other side. So it will look like
Right.
P plus Q equal to 3. Okay, we'll keep all the variable on one side, all the numbers on the other side. Okay, please simplify the equations and raise your hand. Okay, Caleb, do you have the second equation?
Give me a second. Let me just reread.
Yeah.
Oh, for the second one, I got -6. I got P minus 2 minus Q.
Hold on. Let me write it again. You said P minus
In a P bracket -2. Plus Q bracket -2 is equal to -16.
-16. Okay. So usually we put a coefficient in front. So it'll be -2p minus 2q equal -16. Okay. Waylon, what's your second equation?
Oh, I got 4p minus q. Wait, 4p plus q equals 6.
Q equals 6. 4p plus q equals 6. Okay. Chris, what about you? What's your second equation?
I got the same as Wayland.
4p plus q equals 6.
That's after I simplified it.
Okay. Right. So let's go over the second equation. Okay. So on the right side, right, -2 to the cube should be -8. -8p minus -2 squared is 4 minus 2q minus 2 equal -18. Okay, I'm gonna move that over. And then we collect the like terms. -8p minus 2q minus 6, because -4 and -2 give you -6 equal -18. Move the -6 over, should give you -12. Okay, so I guess you divide everything by -2, right? So if you do that, it will be 6 equal 4 plus 4p plus q. Okay. So you need to know how to simplify like terms, right? This I cannot help you, right? Because just add and subtract integers. So just be careful when you add and subtract integers. Follow the order of operation, right? Exponent first. Now, once you get here, we can start solving system equation. You can either use substitution or elimination. Okay, in this one, okay, I think it's easier to just eliminate, right? Because the q's are the same already, right? So you could subtract them, okay? Subtract the bottom one with the top one. You get 3p, q cancels out, equals to 3. you get P equal to 1. So you found P equal to 1, you can plug it back into any of them, okay, doesn't matter. So P plus Q has to be 3. So Q has to be what, Marcus?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
It's P, if P equals to 1, did you get how we get P equal 1?
You divide 3p equals, like the 3p equals 3, and you just divide it by 3.
Yeah, okay. And then once you get a P equal to 1, how do you find Q?
You do isolate, you do 5, wait, you have to isolate Q from 4p.
Because you already found P, right? So you
Yeah.
can plug it back into any of the equation.
Oh, okay, so it'd be like 5. Oh, wait, Q equals 2.
How'd you find that?
I plugged into 4p plus Q, and then you got 4, and I moved the 4 over, and it became Q equals 2.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So you would have Q equals to 2. Or I think the faster one will just plug into P plus Q equals 3. So 1 plus Q equals 3. Q will be 2. So that's how you find the missing coefficient for this one. Okay. All right, can you raise your hand if you finish this question or copy down everything? So you will get, I will be assigning 2 questions like this, okay? So make sure you know how to do this kind, how to set up the equations using remainder theorem. Okay, Susan, do you have any questions?
Why is it 3p is equal to 3?
So what we did is, you know how we got the 2 equation here, number 1, number 2? Yeah, okay, so we just eliminate the Q by taking the second one, subtract the first one. So 4p minus p, what do you get?
3p, okay.
Okay, and then Q minus Q is gone. And then 6 minus 3, give you the 3.
Okay.
Okay, this is from system of equation. Do you remember that from last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so just cancel out one of the variable, then you can solve for the p.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so we are still on factor theorem, factor polynomial. First part is got to do with remainder. Okay, all these has to do with remainder. Next part, we are going into the factoring. So remainder, okay, so from the last homework, if you remember, it asked you to check if the divisor is a factor, right? Like we're on the homework page right now. State whether the polynomial has a factor of x minus 4. So I think most of you find it, right? I mean, every one of you find it by dividing it, right? Using synthetic. Now we know the remainder theorem. So we could also use that to answer that question. So let's understand what factor means first. Okay, for example, 10 has factors of 2 and 5, right? 2 times 5 can make 10, right? So this is a factor. 5 is also a factor of 10. So if it's a factor, that means you divide it by the factor, you shouldn't have remainder. Okay? So that's the idea. If you divide it by something, right? Divided by a divisor, and the remainder is 0. Then we will say this divisor is a factor. Okay, for example, if I take 10 divided by 5, right? This is our divisor. 10 divided by 5, you can divide it evenly, right? There's no remainder left over. Then this divisor is a factor. So all you need to do is just to check whether the remainder is 0 or not. Okay, if the remainder is 0, then it's a factor. If it's not, then it's not a factor, right? You just check remainder if it's 0. So question 8 here, use the factor theorem. So that's our part 1 of factor theorem to check if the binomial refers to the y minus 1 here, or the 3x minus 1, okay, the 2 term, to check if it's a factor of the first polynomial. So you just need to find a remainder, okay? So remainder equals to P of, so what do we need to sub in to find the remainder for this one? Okay, lady, what do we need to sub in to find the remainder?
1.
Yep, okay, so we plug in 1. So be 2 times 1 cubed minus 5 times 1 squared plus 2 times 1 plus 1. Okay. Marcus, can you help us find the number here?
Like the answer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. -3, which is 0.
Yes, okay. So we have a remainder. The 0 represent the remainder. So if the remainder is 0, is the y minus 1 a factor? Angela?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So you just say y minus 1 is a factor. Okay, that's all you need to check. Okay, you want to make sure the remainder is 0 or not. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna do this one. Okay, I'll let you do that, and then you can tell me 3x minus 1. Okay, so once you found the remainder, please raise your hand.
Jason, can you go up a bit? I just want to see like the thing at the top. I don't know if I wrote that down.
You see it now?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, please raise your hand if you found the remainder for question B. Okay, Chris, what's the number we should sub in?
1/3.
Okay, very good. All right, Caleb, have you found the remainder? Caleb, what's the remainder?
It should be 0.
Be 0, okay. So if it's 0, that means the 3x minus 1. Is it a factor? Marcus?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So is a factor. So if you get something that's not 0, then you just say 3x minus 1 is not a factor, okay? Because you get something remained, right? So it's still using remainder theorem, but we just connect this idea and apply it to factors, okay? So how do we know when we have a polynomial, what number will work? Okay, because our goal here is try to find the factors. Okay, how do we know which divisor will have a remainder of 0? Right? Because like here, for these two questions, they give it to you for you to check. So now we're moving on to part 2. Okay, so part 2, they only give you the polynomial here, right? Look at question A, question 9a. They want you to use this idea, try to find a factor, but they don't tell you what it is. So how do we check? Okay, so there's a rule for checking. So the number that you check, okay, the b over a, if you look at up here, the number that you want to plug it in to check, the b is one of the factor of the constant term. Okay, you can fill that in. Constant term. I'll talk about that first. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 terms. The one that is a constant is the last one, the 36. Okay, you can ignore the negative or not, doesn't matter. So you think about all the factors of 36. Okay, we call this number the b. So b could be 1 or 36, right? Because 1 times 36 makes 36. 2 and 18. 3 times 12, right? Can make 36. 4 and 9. And then we have a 6. 6 times 6. And also could be negative. So you have plus minus. Okay, so you have a list of all these are possible. Okay, and these are the possible b. So that's for the constant term. Okay, can you raise your hand if you caught up to so far? Understand up to this point, how we get the b values.
Hey, Jason,
Yeah, Jenny.
I have to leave early today again.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Thank you. See ya.
Yeah, so make sure you watch the rest of the video later, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Okay, and then the second part, okay, the A will be the denominator, okay? So A is the factors of the coefficient of the highest degree. So the one that has the highest degree is x cubed. Right, x cubed has a coefficient of 1. So it's coming from here. So this is the A. And because it's 1, there can only be plus or minus 1. Okay, so all the possible numbers are the B over A. So you take each one of them, each one of the B. So B is 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 3 over 1, 4 over 1, 6, 9, 12, 18, 36. Okay, and don't forget plus minus. So these are the possible numbers that could give you a remainder of 0. Just possible, okay? So you need to do guess and checking. Use you just have to see if you're lucky to get the first one correct, right? You need to try it out, okay? So please write down the list. We're gonna go over the list, okay? Let's see how many tries we need. Right, so can you raise your hand after you finish writing the list? So now we try, okay? We guess and check. Okay, raise your hand after you finish writing out the list. All right, so Chris, can you pick a number?
9.
9, okay, so let's do P of 9. Okay, so Chris, you can do the P of 9. Eric, pick a number.
36.
Okay. Then you do the P of 36. Okay.
Okay.
Need to plug into the X, right? To find the remainder. All right, Evan, you can pick a number.
6.
All right. Then you can plug in the 6. Okay, I think I'd ask Chris, Eric, and Evan, right? Of course, you can also pick negative, right? Remember, it's plus minus. It could be negative as well. Okay, Daniel, how about you pick a negative number?
-2.
All right, so you can try that one out. Daniel. All right, so if you found a number, please raise your hand. Okay, Evan, what do you have?
That's 0.
All right, you have a 0 already. Pretty lucky, eh? Chris, what's yours?
362.
You have 62.
362.
Oh, okay, very big. Eric?
I have 44,460.
44,000 what?
460.
460, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel?
Wait, I didn't finish yet.
Okay.
I got -96.
New 96. Okay, so I guess Evan is the lottery guy. Okay, got lucky. So 0, right? When you get the 0, that means we found the factor, right? 0 means remainder is 0. Remainder is 0 means it's a factor. So our factor is x minus 6 is a factor. Is one of them, okay? There should be 2 other ones or one more, okay? So by guess and checking, we could find one of them. All right, so that's how this works, okay, to find one of the factor. So let's do one more. Okay, b comes from 4. Okay, so in this question, we just want to find one of the factor. So b will be plus minus. Okay, what are the lists, Wayden? What are the
Repeat the
numbers?
question.
What are the numbers for the b?
1, 4, 2.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 4 only. All right, very good. Now for the A, Caleb, what are the choices for the A?
1, 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Remember, there could be plus minus. Okay, now we need to get a combination of B over A. So B, let's start with B is 1. Okay, so you could have 1 over 1, right? 1 over the A, right? The list on the A. 1 over 2, 1 over 3, 1 over 6. Okay, the A are in the denominator. All right, do you follow so far? Now we move on to 2, when B is 2. So you have 2 over 1, 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is same as 1, so we won't repeat, okay? 2 over 3, 2 over 6. 2 over 6 is same as 1/3, so we won't repeat that. Okay, we go to 4. 4 could be 4 over 1, that'll be 4. 4 over 2 will be 2, so we don't need to write again. 4 over 3, 4 over 6 will be 2/3. Okay, don't forget plus minus. So that's our list. Okay, these are the possible numbers to try. Okay, please raise your hand if you finished listing. All right, so I'll let everyone to do the guess and checking now. Okay, we need the number that makes it 0. Okay, so please plug it in, try your choice. Right, you can pick either positive or negative. It could be a fraction as well. Okay, so try all the numbers. Well, not all the numbers, just try once you got the one that works. Okay, we just need to find one of them. Right, so please raise your hand if you found one. Okay, if you find a number that makes it equal to 0, please raise your hand. there should be more than one number that works. Okay, hopefully we have different ones, right? Okay, Marcus, what's the one that you found?
I did 2.
2. Okay, so 2, P of 2 equal to 0. Sophie, how about you?
I also did too.
Okay, Angela?
I did 1/2.
1/2, very good. 1/2 will be 0. Anyone else? Chris?
I did 1/2.
1/2, Daniel?
I did 2.
2, Susan?
1/2.
Okay, anyone else got other than 2 and 1/2? Okay, so let's write out the factor then, right? If P of 2 makes it 0, that means the divisor should be x minus 2, the factor, right? X minus 2 will give you 2. Now, this is the first time we have a fraction, right? So how do we write out the factor then? If 1/2 makes it equal to 0, Philip, how do you write a factor?
X minus half.
You need to put it back into like ax minus b form, like on the top here.
Oh,
Fractions, yeah.
2x minus 1.
Yes, okay, so you need to think backwards. Think about if I solve divisor equal to 0, right? What kind of divisor will make it 1/2, all right? So these two, okay, are the factors. All right, so we'll stop here, okay? If you have any question about the lessons today, okay, please feel free to stay after class. And then if you are missing the homework, please also stay after class to hand in. And I'll see you guys next week, okay? Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, so yeah, do you need any help for the homework? Eric, Evan, and Waylon?
Jason, can you go over page
No,
12,
almost done.
question 15?
Which one?
Page 12, question 15.
Page 12, question 15. Yeah. So what's the trouble?
I get like a really weird answer, so I'm not sure if it's correct.
Syncretic division?
Yeah.
Okay. So inside should be 2, -3, -5, and 4, right?
Yeah.
And then outside you put 4.
Yeah.
Right? So drop down the 2, you get 8, and then 5.
Yeah.
Right? And then what do we put?
20, I'm not sure.
Very good, yeah. And then
-15, 15.
yeah, very good. Go on. And
And
then
then 60. I mean, yeah, 60.
yeah, 60. And then
That'd be 64.
64. Yeah. No trouble, right?
Oh, okay, never mind. I
So
made a
the
mistake then.
quotient, write down the quotient and write down the remainder.
Alright.
Okay.
Thank you.
Done.